episode 2 of the Great Ace Attorney Adventure. Last time, we met our protagonist, Ryosuke Naruto, aka Phoenix's ancestor, and basically saw how he was accused of murdering a professor at his college, and now he's being prosecuted by Winston's ancestor, and is basically being defended by, essentially, is being assisted by his friend, Asogi, who basically has a sword and a headband.
With your blatant disregard for court proceedings, I'm beginning to wonder if you're not a fraud! And I should know! I've been called a fraud on several occasions! Could it be that the accused, this mere student, is not a real lawyer after all?
But I'm sure of what I saw! Hosanaga-san, is there any chance you're mistaken? Perhaps your memory of events is hazy. No. The deceased gentleman came to dine alone. I don't believe it. Ahem. I actually have a rough plan of the restaurant as it was that day. Please, have a look at it if you'd like to. While I just stand here awkwardly with blood oozing down my cheek. Let me see here. A sketch of the establishment's layout drawn by yourself, I presume. That's right. I'm afraid I used the back of my business card. It was a turbulent situation. However, as you can see, the gentleman in question was seated alone. Well, you're clearly a very conscientious waiter. Thank you, sir. The court will take this plan and add to the court record as evidence. Well. Is there a problem? And the plan to the court officer at once. Of course. Here you are. What was that about? He's been completely calm and collected until now. Something certainly seems to have shaken him. I think it's the consumption. The waiter's business card has been added into the court record as he starts coughing.
So, tables for dominance! The court has now heard a precis of this case.
Yes, at the moment the gunshot was heard in the restaurant, the only person in close proximity to the victim was the defendant of the trial today. It would seem we are looking at a black and white case here. Defendant Naruto.
Yes, Your Excellency?
If you admit your guilt at this stage, the court is willing to look mercifully upon you. We will make it where your death will be quick and painless.
In other words, you may have some small reprieve in terms of your inevitable punishment. I call this witness as an unsworn witness in order to explain the details of this case to the court. But I must warn the defense, if you are determined to pursue matters further in this trial, the prosecution has decisive evidence from sworn witnesses who were present at the scene of the crime! All the girls who rejected me!
What do you think I should do, Kazuma? What do you mean? Well, I'm going to be found guilty on one way or another, it seems. Wouldn't it be sensible to plead guilty at this stage and hope for a more lenient sentence? And for CzarThwomp to actually know how to turn on his timer? I swear, what is it with me and not turning on the timer? Everyone keeps telling me that this trial is unusual, about these peculiarities. You said it. Professor Mikutaba said it, and so has the judge and the prosecution. I'm scared of what lies ahead if I push this. As I said from the outset, I believe you are innocent. I trust you. The wind that perpetually blows my headband trusts you. And yet, despite knowing that, you're willing to now throw that trust back in my face. Is that it? What? If the accused is in fact innocent, then a defense lawyer is duty-bound to prove that innocence by whatever means necessary. Are you going to just abandon that duty? Are you going to give up on yourself? The battle hasn't even begun yet, Ryonosuke. And if it did, I would end it in mere seconds with my power. I would summon the gale storms, and I would blast this building. I would tear this building asunder. The defense pleads not guilty, Your Excellency. We invite the prosecution to stop making empty threats and bring out witnesses. Then we'll see just how decisive this evidence really is.
Indeed. Prosecutor Aochi, please continue with the proceedings.
Well, you were warned. The young can be so reckless. You know, many call me a saint, but I can be a devil when I want to be. In a few short moments from now, if that dumbstruck young mouth of yours will be silenced forever! The prosecution calls its next witness!
Very well. Officer, bring forth the witnesses at once.
Yep, here we get the Professor Layton and Phoenix versus Phoenix Wright vibes, where they're bringing in multiple witnesses at once.
Witnesses, kindly say your name and occupation to the court!
Yes, sir! The greatest Nippon Imperial Army Sergeant Iyase Nosa reporting for duty, sir! Myself, I find employ as a purveyor of fine articles of antiquity from the efflorescence of our nation, Nippon! Conduct my trade from Raisutai, a humble premises in the 2nd District, Kyoto Kuratuka at your service. An antique dealer and a soldier, what an unusual pairing.
Both of these gentlemen were present at the restaurant on the day in question.
They must be the diners at the other table that the waiter mentioned. Myself, I habitually take tea of the most exquisite aroma at the establishment in question, always post-noon, and not infrequently converse with interested parties regarding the curios which I make my business. I can't understand a word that old man is saying. Okay, I'm glad I'm not the only one, okay? I'm thinking that just my eyes are failing me. He's an antiques dealer, and he sounds like he's a regular at Le Carnival. He seeks out potential customers who may have an interest in artifacts and tries to sell his wares to them. He obviously targets Le Carnival because it's a high-class restaurant with rich clientele. Right, I see. Although, to be honest, that sergeant looks more like he'd be a seller rather than a buyer.
Now you both witnessed the precise moment of this most atrocious incident. Is that correct?
Affirmative! The enemy unit was seen attacking the border in what can only be described as an act of war, sir! It was that black uniformed rogue infantryman over there who unloaded his firearms, sir.
What was that? It sounded like a squeaking noise. Was that my throat? I don't know. Yeah, but I love how this is the most respect that a Pain ever receives in Ace Attorney canon. Really. Just meanwhile, Winston gets mistaken for a Jed or on more than one occasion. This man's as impossible to understand as the other. But I'm almost sure I heard a strange noise during that last thing he said. Okay, that wasn't my game, that wasn't my mic, that wasn't my throat. Okay, good. So, this is the decisive evidence the prosecution was threatening. The soldier is claiming that he actually saw the precise moment you shot the victim dead. Yes. Well, are you starting to feel uncomfortable? If I'm honest, I was feeling uncomfortable from the start.
No, the court will hear your formal testimony, please. You will start everything you saw at the precise moment that the incident occurred. Yes, sir! Sir, yes, sir! Standing by, reporting, sir! Unsavory memories of a most acrobatic afternoon.
What the witnesses saw. I was investigating a regulation beef steak at the restaurant while having a tactical discussion with the old man. Myself, I was extolling the virtues of a particularly fine golden curio to the military gentleman. At that precise moment, a firearm was discharged. I observed the enemy's actions with my own eye. The black uniformed varsity cadet fired on the English civilian, and from the back, the cowardly little weasel. I was on my hands and knees investigating the whereabouts of my mysteriously absconded precious curio.
Well, so you, Sergeant Nosa, actually witnessed the vital moment.
Oh, sorry if my voice is off. I swear, it's been a while. It's been over a year since I voiced Ace Attorney characters.
You saw the split second when the defendant fired the weapon at the victim. Yes, sir! Affirmative, sir! The wicked University cadet, sir! The cruel and unforgivable enemy!
What's with that squeaking?
What times we live in, when an English gentleman may be assailed in broad daylight of day, and not by me and my stabbing knife! You know how many lives I've taken with this knife? Yes, it is very sharp, but I prefer my knives rusty and dull. More painful that way for them, you see.
But this is ridiculous. I didn't shoot anyone. Is that really true, Ryonosuke?
Yes, all I did was pick up the gun that I saw lying on the floor.
After I said hello to Dr. Wilson, I went back to my table and sat drinking some coffee. Then, when I finished, I got up from my seat to leave the restaurant when I noticed an English-made gun next to the chair where the professor was sitting. I thought perhaps the professor had dropped it, and I also thought that perhaps I could use it to get a discount on my meal. So I bent down, and just as I was picking it up, well, if that's the truth, then there was obviously a criminal on the scene somewhere. And somewhere in these two witnesses' testimonies, there's a clue as to who that criminal was. There is. Ryonosuke, you must exercise your right to cross-examine the witness. Cross-examine? Do it now!
As we heard, Your Excellency, there is no room for doubt in the testimony of these witnesses. The defendant is clearly guilty. It's time to bring this despicable student to justice!
Okay, will do. Open the time portal!
Yeah, and then they push Ryonosuke through the time portal, and he ends up in a palace apartment.
What the heck? Who are you? Certainly, the testimony the court has just heard eliminates any vestige of doubt. Therefore, it is my grave duty to declare the verdict of this trial. What in the name of the Emperor is the meaning of this outburst?
I don't even know what voice I'm doing anymore. I mean, the defense demands the right to cross-examination. Wait a second. Let me see the history log. Oh my gosh, they gave him the English spelling. Not, darn it. Yeah, really. That's so strange to me whenever I see that. I'm so used to defense. D-E-F-E-N-S-E. Not defense, as in like D in the fence. What, are we gonna see couleur next? Color with a U? Theater with an R-E?
Let me guess, the Hitachi headband boy next door told me to do it. How pathetic!
Huh? Huh? How do you know?
The prosecution objects. This is a clear waste of time. The defendant obviously has no experience. How can he possibly carry out cross-examination?
Objection!
The defense is asserting its right to a cross-examination. Whether or not you think he's capable of it is irrelevant. Kazuma is so commanding.
Very well. Very well. Let the defense conduct a cross-examination of the witnesses.
Alright, this is where the battle really begins. Ryonosuke. But I don't even know what I have to do in a cross-examination. Isn't it obvious? You have to expose the lies of the witnesses' statements. How? You didn't fire the gun, which means that what the soldier was saying has to be a lie. Well, yes, but it's just a case of proving it, and the key to doing that is evidence. Right, evidence. All you need to do is present some decisive and indisputable evidence that proves that the witness is lying. Now let's go, Ryonosuke! Don't let them beat you! Let me chop the table in half and let me beat them for you! Alright then, it's all or nothing. Yeah, and then Phoenix. I mean, that's some Feeny strength table slapping right there. I mean, Phoenix, he knew how to slap a table from the get-go. Phoenix slapped that table in the first game. He sent out the thunder, and it was just boom, table slap. Boom, table slap. Edgeworth. Boom, table slap. He was on par with Edgeworth. Alright then, it's all or nothing. Cross-examination. What the witnesses saw. Let's press.
Yes!
Pressing basically gets you more information. Present basically allows you to present evidence to contradict what is being stated. Why? Why are you interested in anything? Is this some new interrogation technique? I hadn't actually thought of what I wanted to ask. Just ask about anything that catches your attention. Anything that bothers you. Alright then, this beef steak you mentioned. What kind of food is that? Attention! Ah! Beef steak is a delicious cut meal, vigorously cooked on a cast iron grill and served piping hot. Oh. If food could receive medals of honor, beef steak would be always as highly decorated as a cutlet. Right, I see. Thank you, sir. So, next question. This cutlet you mentioned, what kind of food is that? I swear, this guy, Ryonosuke, is coming off as less as Phoenix's ancestor, and more of someone you'd imagine Maya being related to. Because this is something Maya would do if she became a defense attorney.
And tell me what you did for lunch yesterday.
Oh, we had burgers.
And how was that burger? How was it prepared?
Well done.
And what condiments were on it? Mustard, ketchup?
I swear, the Maya voice kills my throat, I swear. Attention! Ah! Cutlet is a delicious cut of veal tossed in breadcrumbs and deep fried in cooking oil. Accept your guilty verdict, although don't for your crimes, and then when you're released from prison, try it. Yes, sir, I will, sir, on the double, sir. Sorry to interrupt, but how about trying to stick to questions that are relevant to the case? Oops, sorry. I'll do my best. So, next question. Is it just me, or do you keep hearing a sort of whack crying noise? Negative! Shut up, what? Well, at least we learned he's a big beef lover. Affirmative. It's not easy knowing what questions to ask. Prime Presser awarded. I got an award.
Yes.
Let's press this guy. I have no idea what you're talking about. A Koban boy! A Koban? You mean an old Edo coin? The day prior to the incident, a treasure of exceptional value from the Hoei period entered my possession. I dug myself to the restaurant the following day, with that item secretly in my bosom pocket. In the hopes of an affluent cognoscentra appraised of its indisputable value being present. So, you were hoping to sell your Koban coin? To Sergeant Nosa, whom you met at the restaurant.
Ah, yes. It's quite clear where you're getting with this, boy. You were about to assert that the penniless soldier would have no hope of purchasing a precious Koban. Is that so?
Well... You little upstart cadet! I will kick your ass right here and now! You don't want to add disrespect to a superior officer to your list of crimes, do you? Layton, subordination! No, I didn't say anything! Although, penniless might not be just the word I was looking for. In any case, the hour was already advanced beyond that of the midday luncheon. There remained precious few present with whom I could engage in discourse about material matters of business. The gentleman beside me, who was grappling with his braised veal at the time, was my sole prospect. I see. Yes, basically we read that one already.
Yes.
So, you're saying that you actually saw me at the time? Affirmative! I saw you! Laughing, cackling, like a madman as you trained the barrel of your gun on the English civilian! Sorry, why am I going to my old man voice? But that's impossible, I only... Allow me to confirm just one point, please. What's that, Private? Thinking carefully about the statement you just made, it seems to me that it must have been just after you heard the gunshot that you looked over to the victim's table. And so what if it was? Well, if it really was the case, it would mean that you didn't in fact see the precise moment when the killer actually fired the gun. Ah! Then double ah! My sixth sense! Sorry? My sixth sense of danger! I picked up the waves of murderous energy radiating from your foul mind! Which means, a split second before you pulled the trigger, I was looking right at you, cadet! Surely that's not really possible. Is it? Do you think I've got to where I am today in the army if I couldn't sense danger in the air, son? Well, it would seem that this soldier is absolutely convinced that he saw you do the deed. This is not good. Okay, let's just get this going. Let's hope we can get through this cross-examination this episode. So this black university student, this black uniformed university cadet, you're saying that was... Ah! I've had just about enough of your sauce, cadet! Who else do you see around here in black uniforms, huh? Well, there's someone standing right next to me who fits that description well, but... It was you little weasel! You unloaded the firearm on that man! From behind his back, and you call yourself a citizen of the great empire of Nippon! You disgust me! What is it, Ryonosuke? I'm not quite sure. It's something that the sergeant just said, but I can't put my finger on it. It's something playing on my mind. In that case, check back over the details of the evidence you got in the court record. And if you find an inconsistency there with what you just witnessed, then with what the witness just said, don't hold back! Present the evidence to the court, thrust it in the witness's face, and make him choke on it! Okay, basically what we're going to do is we're probably going to present the post-mortem because it's going to say from the front. Come on. The bullet did not pass through the victim's body. Yes! There we go. What are you playing at, cadet? What is the meaning of this subordination? Thrusting this wad of paper in my moustache! Inconsistency, sir! I mean, yes! Weak slap! There's clearly a inconsistency here.
What nonsense! What can this document possibly tell us that we don't already know?
Well, obviously, that, I know what I want to say, but the words just won't come out of my mouth.
I think this proves beyond any doubt, Your Excellency, that there is no place for an amateur student here in this grand courtroom!
Ah, this is so frustrating! Oh, please! Surely this doesn't require an explanation. It couldn't be more plain! To spell it out would be an insult to the court. Kazuma, what?
What are you talking about?
It's apparent from a single glance at this post-mortem report presented by the defense that there's a clear discrepancy here with what the sergeant stated.
What?
Sergeant Yasanosa. Yes, sir! What, sir? The statement you just made was this. The black uniformed university cadet fired on the English civilian, and from the back, the cowardly little weasel. Yes, sir! Affirmative, sir! I witnessed the crime with my own military-grade eyes, sir! Yes! But no! That just can't be! And why not, cadet? Because of the wonderful things you are. As it is clearly stated in the post-mortem report, fatal hemorrhaging from pectoral ballistic trauma. No exit wound. Bullet did not pass through the body. The photographic print of the victim clearly shows the same thing. The victim, Dr. Dr. Wilson died from a bullet hole to the chest. Ah! Sergeant, according to your witness statement, the culprit shot the victim from behind. And that is the obvious discrepancy here. Yes, and I have a note. Okay, yeah. Okay, just heard another noise. And that's the obviously discrepancy here. How do you explain it? I'm sorry if I read that line again. What the? Baby coming out! Go back in the pouch, baby! No one wants you, baby! What the? What was that? Something just popped up from behind his back when he pushed it down again.
Certainly, there's a clear discrepancy with the facts here. Would you not agree, Sergeant Nosa? Yes, sir. At this juncture, that would appear to be indisputable. Until the moment I heard the firearm discharge, my eyes were, darn it, baby, go back in the pouch! Firmly fixed on the delicious La Carnival steak, sir! And why is this baby here? Go back in the pouch, baby! I did not put you in a backpack with no air holes just so you could pop your head out!
What?
The last testimony the court heard has proven one thing beyond all reasonable doubt. This witness, Sergeant Yaisa Nosa, did not see the defendant firing the gun at all.
That's absurd!
I think the conclusion we must draw is simple. There is no place for an amateur prosecutor here in this grand courtroom. And so it all went...
Yeah!
It all went downhill from Winston's family from here. This is the moment that Winston's family's life went downhill. Yeah, and then Winston comes back in the past, goes back to the past. He's like the Terminator.
I'll save you, Papa Ouchie!
Yeah. There's been a complete turnabout in the mood of this trial. Just from that one discrepancy. So this is what being an ace attorney is all about. But I definitely saw him! That university cadet there! He was pointing that firearm directly at the victim's back, and then that old man, he's like, out of curiosity, how much would you be willing to sell that baby for? Because I could sell babies on the black market!
Yes!
But I never buy the gun! All I do is pick up from the floor! And you, old man, you didn't see the moment the victim was shot either. Myself, I have already been quite clear. The guy in Jai interested me not. I was sorry we are too busy on the floor. Too busy on the floor? Sorry, what were you doing? Hunting for treasure! Treasure? Indeed! The Hoey Era Koban, my prize coin! I'd kill you for that coin with this bottle I'm currently holding! On each occasion when I visit that restaurant, it is my habitude to place in my bosom pocket a particular trinket of interest for my shop, Rasute, in the hopes of meeting a rich dealer who might like to buy it from you. On that day, under scrutiny, it was to the military man I proffered my Hoey treasure. Believed that he would purchase such a rare find, I did not, but I was predestined. I presented with little alternative. And then, after reading my eyes for the briefest of moments, it was there no more. It simply vanished.
The Koban! Vanished?
Hunting around at the table, I was, in case mayhap it had fallen there. And then it happened. You heard the gunshot, you mean? We'll answer that question in the next episode. Anyways, I really appreciate that you stuck around to watch this episode. You're a great viewer, and I hope you come back with the next one. If you like this video, like, subscribe, comment, share, do whatever you want. With that, I'll see you next time. Bye.